Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry.
I got to tell this story. I don't even know if you remember this. He played with the Steelers. As y'all know, I played with the Bengals. We play them twice a year. We was playing, y'all, and you probably do not remember this. He used to just walk around with his helmet on, obviously, and he would just look at everybody just real crazy. Didn't say anything, didn't smile at you. And so one day I don't know who he was talking shit to. It was during a timeout. We was playing. And I just walked by him. I said, fuck you always looking like you tough. Nigga, you ain't tough. That's what I said to him. He didn't say one word to me. He just looked at me real crazy. And so then I said, oh, you think you scare me, huh? Ain't nobody scared of you, boy. And bruh, when I say you looked at me so crazy, so then I go back to the huddle, Willie Anderson, like, we about to get the play going. Well, you leave him alone. You ain't got to block him. So I catch a little out route. And you speared me in my back. And you going to look at me and say another motherfucking word to me, punk. I was like, what? This dude, and you just, the rest of the game, every time I looked at you, you was just looking at me like, when I see you,
yeah.
So then when I met you off the field, I'm like, oh, buddy, cool as hell.
Yeah.
On that field?
For sure.
Looked at you, I think everybody across the league was like, bro, James Harrison, like, for real, killer. Like, in real life, for real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I get that. I ain't gonna lie, I get that all the time. Like, guys that are my teammates, they end up, getting to know me and all that. But, like, on the field, in between those lines, dude, my dad told me when I was 10, he was like, the coach had told him he didn't feel like I was practicing hard or whatever, and I wasn't, I wasn't going hard enough. And my dad told me then, he was like, when you step on this field, you ain't got no friends. He said, whether it's practice or a game, you go out there and you try and tear whoever's head off is in front of you. So from that point then, when I got on the field, I don't care, if it was practice or a game, I'm trying to do everything I can in my power to destroy you. I don't want you to finish that game. I don't want you to be injured. Like,
we got that.
Yeah.
That look on your face every game was,
Yeah, you can play next week. I just don't want you to finish this week. I want you to know you was in a football game.
Well, so I guarantee, though, when you would meet people that you played against, you got the same stories. And then they meet you. They like, oh, guarantee.
And I don't even remember it. I ain't going to lie, dude. I don't. One dude was like, dude, you broke my nose. I'm like, dude, I ain't. It was a lineman from Sunday. He's like, you did it twice, dude. He was like, you. I'm like, I don't recall it. He's like, how you don't recall it? I'm like, because I don't. Like, you say something to me, I'm just eating it up. I'm sitting there and running it through my head the whole time just to heat me up more and more. And when I get that chance to hit you, I'm trying to lower the boom on
you. Yeah, and you was doing it. And the facial expressions, the body language made it even worse. Now, let's talk about George Pickens. You know what's going on with that?
Yeah, I heard something about
okay. So I'm going to kind of give you the backstory. Obviously, George Pickens gets drafted to the Steelers. Then they just traded him about a month and a half ago. Dallas Cowboys. So George Pickens is supposed to do a camp in Pittsburgh. So he was traded May 7th, so just about 6 weeks ago. He gets traded to Dallas, but he still commits. I'm still going to do the camp. That's what he's telling the people that's organizing and running the football camp. I'm going to still come back to Pittsburgh and do the camp. Well, all the kids registered. George say, nah, I ain't coming back. I'm not doing the camp. I don't care what y'all do. I'm not doing the camp. So Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, has said, you know what, I'll step in and I'll do the camp for George. What do you think George should have done, and what would you have done?
For me, if I get my word is my word, and I'm going to go through with it. It doesn't matter how I feel afterwards. Once I get that word, I'm going to do it. If that was something that he really, just didn't want to do, I think, he should have made that decision initially to be like, you know what? I don't want to do it because I done got traded or whatever it may be. And then again, you're talking about representatives. I don't know if this is something they directly heard from him. So you got a lot of people that speak for you, especially when, you're in that position. You got people that are like, no, he's still going to do it. And sometimes they're hoping that they can convince you to actually, still do it. So was that something where his team was like, yo, he's still going to do it? And it may have been something that as soon as he got traded, he was like, I'm not going to do that. And maybe over time they were trying to talk him into it and they just couldn't get him to do it. So unless that was the direct words from him, it's kind of six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Although that is your representative, they do speak for you. Sometimes they try and speak in your best interest, hoping they can convince you to still do it.
Me personally, I feel like I'm like you. Once you commit to something, just go ahead and do it. Because it's a lot of kids, man. Like, they ain't getting caught up in he's with the Steelers now, he with the Cowboys. They just want to see George Pickens.
Right.
And so disappointed a lot of kids, and I'm sure he don't care about that. But once you say you're gonna do something, whether you play for the Steelers, you play for the Cowboys, it's a day out of your time. One day out of your time. Just go ahead and knock it out. Matter of fact, go surprise them and continue to keep them people and those young kids and those families as fans, because obviously they signed up for your camp because they liked you as a Steeler. Even if you go to the Cowboys, they still going to be a fan. So now he's lost fans, but I don't know if you know George. I've been around him a little bit. He just don't give a damn, bro.
Yeah.
His representatives were like, hey, you need to do this. He probably was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I don't care. I ain't doing it. I don't care what you say. I'm not doing this. I think it's unfortunate because he's probably going to take a hit in his reputation. I don't think he gives a damn. But those kids, that's the part of it. They just going to be disappointed. Now, when you left Pittsburgh, where'd you go?